Leland, Vittert joining me now. Russian military forces are now seizing territory, calling it independent. These are regions that, Leland, you've reported from on the ground as a foreign correspondent. It's breaking news for us right now, but these areas have had tension for years. How long have these areas in the eastern part of Ukraine been contended for?
Yeah, and the dates we're talking about, Adrienne, are really important. February 22nd of 2014, 8 years ago yesterday, when the invasion actually began, is the day that Viktor Yanukovych, who was the Putin puppet in Ukraine, was deposed by this massed protest. It was a huge humiliation for Vladimir Putin. So the fact that yesterday and today he is avenging that is no surprise. Take a look at the maps we have to show you. This gives you a sense of the state of play right now. Obviously, yellow's Russia, blue's Ukraine. The area with the blue and red, aqua and red, that's the area that back in 2014, Russian separatists and militias took over. The dotted white line shows you where the Ukrainian military has moved up to. So right now, that would be the line of contact is the front lines. The Russians have moved between 10 and 20,000 troops so far into this area held by the separatists. It's why we haven't seen any video of real open conflict yet. The issue is the red area, and that's what Vladimir Putin declared as an independent and sovereign territory, which means he views that as place with ethnic Russians that is deserving of defense by the Russian military, currently occupied by the Ukrainian military. So at the time of his choosing, once he's built up enough forces inside of that area currently controlled by separatists, that's when we're going to see them push into the red area for this real conflict with Ukraine. Make no mistake, Vladimir Putin is still 100% in the driver's seat for this conflict.
And again, I think I wanted to give viewers at home some understanding, because while we are saying this is a full-scale, or rather, I don't even know if we can use the term full-scale, but this is an invasion. Washington's calling this an invasion. This land that Russia has declared independent and moving into, this is territory that they've said is theirs for how long?
Well, if you listen to Vladimir Putin, he says that all of Ukraine has been part of motherland Russia since back during the Tsar time. So the grievances that Vladimir Putin has goes back hundreds of years. Now, just because Vladimir Putin says it doesn't make it true. Ukraine is an independent country. The Soviet Union, when it dissolved, then Russia and the United States both recognized the territory that we now commonly refer to as Ukraine with Kyiv as its capital. So this concept that Vladimir Putin puts out that, oh, this really was always part of Russia, is simply his talking points. And he wants Ukraine for a number of reasons. Number one, he wants their helium that's used in a lot of U.S. industrial uses. He wants some of their other minerals. He wants their uranium, something that's used in nuclear weapons. So Ukraine is an extraordinarily valuable area, also very valuable for farming and for food. So it's hard to sort of allow him to set the agenda and the talking points that somehow this is part of Russia and he's just taking back what is rightfully his. He'd like you to believe that. The facts don't really support it.
Is this, if you give Putin an inch, he'll take a mile? Are there predictions that he'll move from that now declared independent territory by Russia into other parts of Ukraine next?
Well, of course, if you give a mouse a cookie, it's going to want a glass of milk. And Vladimir Putin was trained by the KGB. He's an expert in this sort of very small incremental movements. And if we put up the other map that shows the possible routes of invasion, it gives us a hint of exactly what he is planning, or at least what he wants to have the ability to do. Troops in the south move up. So Crimea, Russia-occupied Crimea, that's where their naval base is on the Black Sea. He moves up towards Donetsk with the people in the south. That creates a land bridge all the way through the eastern part of Ukraine. And the two groups of soldiers in the north, one in Belarus, one on the western side of Russia, those don't need to attack Kyiv, the capital, in this typical sense that you think of a bombing campaign. They can begin to strangle and cut off Kyiv. We already heard that the Ukrainian president, Zelensky, has had to call up all of his reserves and create a state of emergency. This has sent the Ukrainian economy into a tailspin. So not going to take very long, conceivably, for Vladimir Putin to just wait this out. The longer he keeps Ukraine strangled, which he's going to be able to do, the harder it's going to be for Zelensky to hold on. We go back to where we started, which is what Vladimir Putin's goals are, which he doesn't necessarily need to invade and take over Ukraine to be successful. He just wants to switch out the presidents from what happened 8 years ago. And rather than have a Western-friendly president, President Zelensky right now, he wants to install one of his puppets into Kyiv to control Ukraine and then tilt the balance of power in Eastern Europe back towards himself.
Leland, thank you as always. We appreciate you getting up early for us. I know you have a show to work on, and you can watch a Leland show on Balance every weeknight here on NewsNation, 6 Central Time. That's 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.